everybody. Today I'm talking about how I choose fragrances for certain occasions, what methodology I put into it, and just going to give you one example. I think I've really kind of aimed these fragrances at the men folk, and one example for each little situation that I can kind of come up with that faces us in life. So how do I choose my fragrances? Well, I think about the situation. Am I going to be in a crowded place? Am I going to be in a very intimate setting? Do I want to be concerned about whether my fragrance is too loud, inappropriate? Is it going to be annoying? So I think a lot of people think the same way. You wouldn't wear a really loud fragrance to a dinner party where you're going to have people sat to your left and your right, and other people may find the smell a bit annoying with the food smells as well. Also the same if you're going to the cinema or the theatre, anywhere where you're going to be in very close proximity. I think I would tend to wear a lighter fragrance. So I would probably go with something like Neroli Portofino, or anything that maybe sits a bit closer to the skin for those kind of settings. So that's my philosophy. So let's see what scenarios I've come up with and the reasoning behind them. So I've got Every Day at Work for a Man, and that one is Dunhill Icon. This one is great because it smells really clean, it smells masculine, it's got a fresh neroli opening and then an earthy base. There's vetiver in there, it sticks to your skin, it gives you the full working day, and I think that's very important with a work fragrance, is you want it to last the whole day but not be too loud and offensive and annoying in case you've got complainers amongst your colleagues. So this is a great example, and any kind of cologne style fragrance that's a bit fresh and a bit woody will just be perfect as long as it gives you that full day's wearing. You could go for something that maybe doesn't last quite so long if you're happy to refresh at lunchtime, take a decant with you, but I do think that you can't go wrong at work if you're in an office kind of environment. At least if you're working out on the roads digging things up, then you could go to town, you can wear whatever the fuck you want. But that was my example for the office. So, what do you wear for a day at the beach? Well, the sun is probably going to kill what you're wearing. So, I probably wouldn't wear anything mega high-end and expensive. But that being said, you know, sometimes you feel like you want to, but just be aware that it probably won't last that long. And also I think a day at the beach is quite a casual and fun day, so you can wear something a little bit more outgoing, a little bit more frivolous, a little bit more eccentric. And I've chosen for this example Gorse, which is very similar to Creed's Virgin Island Water, except for the fact that the price is a lot lower, and on my skin I get a much better performance. I would still probably refresh after 3 or 4 hours in the hot sun with this. Nothing really lasts that well in the sun when I'm on holiday anyway. And chuck a load on your clothes, and it's fun, it's outgoing because it's coconutty and limey and fresh and zingy, perfect for a hot summer's day in the sun at the beach. So what do you wear to mountain climbing, jungle trekking, hiking, all that kind of stuff? I think you probably want something that's travel size so that you can pack it in your bag and it not take up too much space. And I think that you should go for something that blends you into the environment, and what better than something green and earthy. And it just means that the animals won't attack you if you're on a jungle trek, because you just smell like your environment. So this is called Elephant, it's from Zoologist. This one is very green in the opening. I get a whole ton of galbanum, which I have to be honest is not my favourite note. When you get to the far drier down, the galbanum definitely takes a little bit of a back seat, and you start to notice the cocoa is very earthy, and it just kind of feels very natural. So I think if you're out in the environment and you can be loud with your fragrance, because this is very strong extract de parfum, then something like that is perfect. If you don't like very green notes like galbanum. And basically, if you're out and about in the natural environment, then I would probably go with something still quite loud, but maybe not synthetic smelling. So maybe avoid a gourmand for that situation. You're going to feel a bit out of place. Something that's maybe natural with florals or herbal notes, aromatic, that kind of thing. So next, what are we going to wear to that all-important job interview? Well, this is the obvious choice from my point of view. I definitely would wear this myself to a job interview. I believe it's aimed at men, although it's not 100% obvious. You can tell by the black bottle. I think it definitely looks to me like it's aimed at men. This is the most professional fragrance in my collection. It is so clean. Mr. Smelly wore it once when, was worn it a few times around me, but in particular, the time that I really fell in love with it, he wore it to the, we went on holiday and he actually wore it to the airport and on the plane. And I just absolutely loved it. And you just think, wow, that is really, really good. He smelt so well groomed, so clean. And it was that point I needed a bottle of my own, and Mr. Smelly got me this bottle. Job interview, perfect. It is so, it's citrusy, but it's not like zesty, ultra fresh, zingy citrus. It's more like you took citrus and you stewed it a little bit, made it really well rounded and smooth, and then you just put in a little bit of soap and a little bit of wood, and you give it a really great longevity and performance. So for a job interview, you probably want to go light because it is quite strong. My advice would be spray at least an hour before the job interview so it has time to get a bit closer to your skin, and go with about 3 sprays of that. But any kind of clean citrus woodsy scent for a job interview is absolutely perfect. You could even do Sauvage from Dior, but I would say 1 spray only because that stuff is nuclear. Certainly to my nose, I can spot it in a room. If there's one person in a crowded room wearing Sauvage, I know about it. Trust me, that stuff is strong. So, okay, what do we wear to a funeral? That's a tricky one, isn't it? So my feeling behind this is that you are possibly going to be getting quite close to people, depending on how close you are to the dearly departed. But you're bound to, if you're there, and maybe you're there in a supporting role for a friend or family or loved one. Either way, people are going to get close to you. People will need to be comforted, so why not pick a comforting scent? So when I say comforting scent, I generally mean a vanilla based scent, maybe something that is verging on gourmand or even gourmand, but I probably wouldn't go really heavy on the trigger because it could be a bit inappropriate to be beasting out a gourmand fragrance in the church pews when everyone around you is crying. So I would say keep it light. If the fragrance is heavy, just keep it light. So I would actually go with Montal Intense Cafe because it's very, very comforting. There's vanilla, coffee and rose in here. It smells really, really comforting, but it is a beast. So it's a 1 to 2 sprays max for a funeral. But of course, if you're going to a funeral where they want people to wear bright colours and be themselves, then of course you should wear whatever you love or whatever you feel will get you through the day. So what about date night? Let's go one step further. What about that date, the one date where you know this could be the night? You know what I mean? You get what I'm saying? So if you want to push it to that next level, what date fragrance do you need to wear? You need to wear something very enticing, and I think once again we go for a gourmand-ish fragrance or something that's got a note of vanilla in it, which is what the ladies do love. And on this occasion, for this one, I've picked Nexus because this is very, very enticing. Honey, tobacco, there's a bit of floral in there. It is uplifting. It smells almost a bit minty, but it's really, really strong and really, really long lasting. So if you want to smell good all night, and the next morning when she wakes up next to you looking all muffled? No, all hair all mussed up, maybe you're wearing your shirt, maybe not, then Nexus could potentially do the trick for you. So I think that's everything. I think you can get my idea behind how I plan my fragrances, what I choose to wear. Of course, if you're a frag head like me, this video is null and void. You wear whatever you want, of course, we all do really, but sometimes it's just fun to have a go and play with these ideas. So thank you for watching, and I'll catch you all in the next video. Let's do a thumbnail now. Thumbnail, thumbnail, thumbnail now. Thumbnail, thumbnail, thumbnail. I think that'll do.